T-minus 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition.
What is up, everybody? We're doing this live thing, and I still can't figure it out.
There we go. Almost got it. Maybe a
I
second off or so.
I'm having some trouble here, even seeing it on my end, big guy.
Oh, well,
So,
it's going. I can see it.
so you can interact with the chat then, if there is a chat.
Sure. Yeah, you should try refreshing your thing. See if
I
that
did, my
works.
guy. We're doing something new, and
It says we
can't-
have 1 views.
that would be me, but I'm not viewing.
Huh.
Let me actually get out of it and let me see what we're
Yeah.
doing here.
Try and refresh that studio page because it's there.
Over
on
here, this says live right here, but that's actually what a normal person would see, but I'm not a normal person.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, sorry, folks. If anybody's even here, we're just trying to figure this thing out, and the only way to really figure it out is by going live.
Yeah, and doing it.
Yeah,
There's quite a few things to talk about right now, so
there is, but I would like to see this normal. So this is live. This is video will go out on YouTube, unedited. But as far as the audio version, I will more than likely be editing that. So I'll probably be editing all this stuff out, which I could clearly see what's going on right now. But I have no. Oh, there is a chat. I got it. Never mind. I'm a dumber. It looks different. So, anyways, Wilson, how are you doing?
I'm good.
That was a little bit of
long. We didn't have.
I know we're on a
4 month
roll.
break.
We're on a roll.
Yeah.
It's like the couple that broke up and they go back together, and then all they want to do is spend time together.
Yeah.
There will be another time where we just don't like each other. So if you're joining us and you want to interact, I'm not sure if this posted to Facebook or not.
I just posted that we're live.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you want to interact with us, it'll be on YouTube is the way to interact with us through the chat feature. And there is a slight delay. Me and Wilson are in the future and you're in the past. So
Yeah.
But yeah, we got quite a bit of stuff to talk about.
We do.
A lot of a lot of this stuff is not fun to talk about. Did you have anything off the top of your head?
Well, I mean, just the stuff that we've already discussed at length in text message.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start with something that I don't think you knew about yet, because you didn't know what it was, which I was really surprised by.
Oh no, I do now.
I told you not to look it up.
Huh? No, I live with someone who watches Fox News 24/7. So it's
your daughter.
Yeah.
She's well versed. But I mean, so what was it, Wilson? Maybe 3 months ago, people were talking about Trump reviving Alcatraz, and I'm like, there's no way that's going to happen.
Great,
but it's impossible for a bunch of reasons. One, it's falling apart. But having been to Alcatraz multiple times, you can't escape from it. Like, I don't think those dudes made it that they said did escape, but it was
I don't think anybody made it.
Yeah,
except for in the movie. That's it.
Yeah, those waters are very choppy. They're cold and they're shark infested. So Ron DeSantis in Florida basically let's see, he invoked the standing 2023 immigration state of emergency to seize the county-owned airfield and fast-track construction without the usual procurement of environmental reviews. So basically, he just kind of bypassed everything, and got a bunch of like private companies and deployed the National Guard and secured the site. And is basically it's a 39 square mile parcel, and it's best natural perimeter money can't buy. So you think of a prison, you think of walls and barbed wire. We have a second viewer here. Don't know who that is. Welcome.
Don't know.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Say something in the chat.
In the chat.
Show yourself.
See if that works.
Yeah, we're testing this bad boy out right now.
Yeah.
But basically the the perimeter is the Florida Everglades. And what's in the Everglades, Wilson?
Lots of beautiful wildlife.
Yeah, and alligators. And so if you try to escape this place, you're going to get eaten alive. Um, and I think it's a good idea. Um, one, I think it. I mean, from what apparently it's already built, like the whole thing, and I think this is basically going to be. I don't know if I could be wrong. It's going to be our version of, I want to say, Guantanamo. So it's basically people who are here illegally, probably federal offenses. I don't think it's going to be like a prison you're going to go to with a DUI. Probably
no.
the hardened criminals. So the
Yeah.
East Coast version of Pelican Bay, I
Yeah.
guess. So I think it's a good idea. A lot of people got all mad about it, but then again, in today's world, people are getting mad about crime getting, resolved. I
Yeah.
guess it's almost people.
They I don't see why anybody's mad about it, because they're getting treated a lot better than other people. Like, there's AC in those things. Like,
Right.
the beds are all made for them already. Like, it's super nice in there. Do you see the floors too?
I'm looking at one picture right now. It's shiny.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's bunks and then there's cages within cages. Now, what people need to realize is, one, I've never been to jail or prison. I've worked in a jail. They have it pretty cush, more than I think they should.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, at least California does. I don't know about any others.
well, actually, I'll take that back. Our jail here, Southern Regional Jail here in the town over from me, dude, there's been a lot of deaths in that jail. Granted, a lot of them, I believe, are ODing, people sneaking stuff in, and the chocolate.
That was happened. I think we had 4 in the last year I was there.
Yeah.
I don't know if they all died, but 4
hiding
overdoses.
Hiding stuff in the chocolate wallet,
Yeah.
suitcase in it, and the thing is that's sad to say, that's common out here with people. A lot of the drug offenses and fentanyl and all that. And there was actually some COs that actually got caught doing getting that stuff in there.
Yeah.
But
we had one.
You had one?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. Oh, I think I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is you look at the dichotomy. Is that the right word? The difference?
I don't know.
Is that
what does that mean?
I don't know.
I never heard that
felt
word before.
I felt like I wanted to use a big word. You used unbeknownst last time, so I was like, I'm gonna actually try that.
Let's see. Oh, there's a sound thing. I wonder if you can hear this.
Dichotomy.
Did you hear that?
No.
Okay, good. A division or contrast between two things that are or are represented as being opposed or entirely different.
So it works, I think.
I don't know. I have more questions after that definition.
So basically, you look at the dichotomy. We're going to stick with it here. If it's the wrong word, let us know in the chat. Of Florida and California, where California has closed down, like prison, like Susanville,
5,
and crime is running rampant there. But then you look at Florida, and they're opening one up. And granted, I don't want to be a like a military-esque style, almost, I hate saying this word because it's so overused now, Nazi-esque type country where everybody has to like show their papers and walk around. But then again, like, I'm not fearing that right now because I'm law abiding and I was born here. And if you are not here, you are a criminal. So therefore you are illegal. You're committing a crime. So I'm tired of the argument of, well, they haven't committed a crimes. Yes, they have.
Yeah.
If I go to any other country and I overstay my visa, I have committed a crime. Why is America the only country in the world that has to change their rules?
Yeah.
So I'm all for this. I think it's cool. Not saying I want people to just, get eaten by alligators. I want them to
I just think it's a great idea and a great place to do it. Like, you have built-in security there. There's
Yeah,
one way in.
right. And right here, I mean, granted, I'm looking at a lot of this on Wikipedia, so a lot of it's biased, but it says, some critics have compared the facility to Auschwitz and other Nazi concentration camps. Um, Wilson, you've been to Auschwitz,
Uh-huh.
which I know I'm pronouncing wrong, but I'm
I
an American.
I would um I would venture guess that people saying that have never been to Auschwitz.
Yeah,
So
because basically, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Wilson, but like, I mean, they're supposed to be teaching this stuff in school, but Auschwitz was basically a giant prison that was also a death chamber.
yeah,
Like this place, they're not killing them;
they
they're
so
housing them.
I forget what it says. There's a big thing over the gate, a sign over the gate that says something, and I think it's something along the lines of like all like welcome all or something like that. Let's see real quick.
People are getting behind the scenes of what the shows are really like
I know.
with all the editing,
And I have to try and figure out how to spell. Oh, there we go.
We got two listeners. I'm wondering if the other one's you.
It's R big. No, I can't even say it. It's German for work sets you free. So it's supposed to be. It was meant to deceive prisoners in the outside world about the true nature of the camp. It was forced labor until they died, and then they'd either burn them or bury them, and then sometimes when they wanted to, they would just burn people alive.
Right.
Like you could see nail marks inside the gas chambers that they had. You could see nail marks near the wall, like on the wall near the door and everything.
And the difference here
Yeah.
is people have said the same exact thing about some prisons. Okay. They've said there's nail marks, the conditions are bad. The difference between the people that were in Auschwitz and the people that are going to be going to Alligator Alcatraz are people that were in Auschwitz were not criminals. These people are the worst of the worst. So
they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be the worst of the worst, which that's what we're focusing on right now. And I don't get why people are getting mad. They're saying, oh, well, they're going and picking these people up at like kids' baseball games and stuff like that. And I'm sitting here going, good. Like we're picking up the bad ones, like the guys who are raping people, killing people. Like those people need to leave, and they should not be at some child's baseball game.
Now, granted, all of our stories today are connected in a way, so you guys will understand the connection there. But yeah, I mean, if you committed a crime and it's not like, okay, you've been here for 25 years, you're automatically in, and I'm all for people coming here. I think it's great. I've known plenty of people who've gone through, did their time, put in the work, became citizens, and they're model like they're this is live, and my cat's scratching at the door.
I can't even.
Can you hear it? You can't hear that? Oh, I can. I was like, what the heck was that? Sammy, stop. So she stopped. So basically these people have become model citizens, who've come into the country because they know the hard work. We look at someone like Daniel Suarez, NASCAR driver. He went through it. He had a good conversation on it was either Dale Jr. or Kevin Harvick's podcast, where he said, yeah, it was hard. It took him a long time, but he did it. And he has and then when he was in racing in Mexico a couple weeks ago, he stood for our national anthem, had his hand over his heart, and he stood for Mexico's too, because he's both. I'm all, dude, that made me so happy. You look at someone like Jen Ledger from Skillet, she's from, I want to say England. I blanket England, if you're over there, you're English. But she became a citizen, and it's hard, but it's not supposed to be easy. And then go ahead.
Ryan Tillman put a little short episode out of his podcast last week, I think it was, maybe a few days ago, but he talked with ICE, like actual ICE agents, and he went through all the steps that it takes. And he said it can take up to 6 to 8 months. And when I heard that, I was like, well, that's not that bad. I've heard like people having horror stories of it being years and years and years. And I'm like, maybe they're just not doing it the right way or something. But he figured out all the steps to it. And all the steps, like, yes, it's difficult, but it should not be a go on the internet, click a link and sign up and you get sent your citizenship in the mail. It should be difficult. It should make people. And he said it only costs about, I mean, I say only, but it's like $700 some dollars, $750.
Yeah. And sometimes if you have employment, they'll sponsor you.
Yeah.
They'll even put you through it. 6 to 8 months.
But $750, like, yeah, it's a lot of money. But when you consider, like, they should be here working, like, initially, because you have to have a green card first. So they should be over here working. So they should have saved up enough money to be able to take this test.
Right. Well, and the fact is, once they're done, they're golden, and I can name a bunch of other things that take longer. Try getting a job in any law enforcement position.
Yeah.
That took me, I think, 2 years almost.
Oh, that took me like 12.
12 years?
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about
off and on. From the
one you ended up
application?
at. Yeah, from the one that you ended up at. Mine was like 2 years.
Yeah, I'd say mine was a little bit less, but
Yeah.
probably all in all like a year and a half.
Sometimes buying a house, I think, takes almost about 6 months because there's so much back and forth and then escrow and waiting. So it's really not much different than what normal people. Sometimes you have to wait 6 to 8 months to go to the DMV.
Yeah.
So I just wish people would understand that.
John Deere makes people wait 6 months to get their tractor fixed.
That's why you're driving that. That's why you're driving that hoopty right now, huh?
Huh?
That hoopty, that old school tractor. Wilson has this awesome old school tractor.
I gotta fix that. I tried to mow today and it was running, but it did not like running. So
speaking of tractors, there's this Facebook profile I've been following. This kid, I can't remember his name, but it's called like Speed Bump Garage or something like that. This kid, his dad owns like a junkyard, and his dad said, "Hey, you can pick anything in the junkyard you want. The only thing is you got to fix it up and you got to make it run." So there's like this old Ranchero out there.
I love
Rancheros. This kid brings it in, and he's sitting there. Dude, this kid, he's got to at least be 16 because he's driving. But he's sitting there and he has his own little Facebook where he's talking about, well, here we're gonna take out the starter and here's how we do that on this, and like he's taking out and it's all like covered in like mud and everything, and he's getting dude, like it's like wholesome. Like this kid, like just it gives me hope. And then so his neighbor was giving away a tractor, kind of like yours. Said, yeah, I'm gonna get rid of it. If you could have it if you get it run. So he put a new battery in there and then it clicked. So he's like, "Ooh, that's good." So then he just cleaned out like the fuel bulb and all that, put some fuel in there and got it running. I'm like, man, there's hope. There's still hope for us with the youth. For some people.
And for the rest, there's natural selection.
Yeah. Or you could end up like what Laura Loomer tweeted. And she said that alligators' lives matter, and that they were guaranteed at least 65 million meals. Which has been taken to a reference to the 65 million Latino people in the United States. I don't know if that's 65 million illegal people or just all of them. I don't want all of them eaten, you know? But I'm for this. And a lot of people are upset that Trump is being proactive on all this stuff. And that's what he campaigned on. That's what I wanted. And it's getting done. And I'm all for it.
Yeah, me too.
So, and that's something that you and I haven't talked about. And this news just came out just recently. I think what a lot of people have issues with is like the name of it, alligator. It sounds mean. We're such a soft society now.
Another thing that they can't, the Democrats can't be mad about is the fact that this is the same stuff that Biden used to house all of them when he was in office at the border and everything. So they can't get mad about him using the tents and all that stuff because that was the same thing. Yeah.
Well, and that too, it's like we don't have to provide them anything, really.
Yeah.
Like we're not obligated to. if you're here illegally, you came into our country. Granted, there are rules. I can't remember the title numbers and all that, but there are certain things we have to get. We can't just like kidnap him, make him starve to death, because that would then be
That would
like
be
a
a
Nazi.
crime.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be a crime, and that's not what we're about. But like these people that are here have been vetted as criminals. They're not going to have, Jose Mandora and his kid who are here. They're not going to be like they'll go probably here as like a transfer center and then deported. But these are like criminals like here where they're going to house them, so you can't escape. And I'm not sure if you noticed this too, but there's been a sudden rise of a lot of people escaping jails and prisons lately,
Yeah.
which makes me wonder. um I think there's a lot of people being paid off on the inside, because that doesn't just happen. Not everyone is in the position where they can escape. Not everyone's an inmate worker.
Yeah.
So you people will sneak out. But like we had I say kid, I think he was like 20. Well, he had to be at least under 18. He looks old, but he's escaped from a juvenile detention center somewhere near Charleston. They found him, but it's just weird because it's like happening more and more with, I think, people on the inside getting paid off and all that.
Yeah.
Oh, it says there's pythons in there too. No, thank you.
Oh, there is one thing I wanted to kind of mention to you. Just I'm throwing my conspiracy stuff out there. The thing that happened in Esparto.
What
Did
was
you hear
that?
about that?
Is it the firework thing?
Yeah.
I thought there was one that happened in Woodland.
Well, that's the same area.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Esparto and Woodland are kind of the same area.
Okay.
But yeah, I was thinking about, and there's one guy who was in the Marines or something like that they were talking to, and he said there were 3 distinct explosions. And he said it was kind of weird because it wasn't like fireworks. It was just boom, 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 but you could hear the fireworks going off too. So I'm wondering who owned this facility with all the fireworks? And was it really a government cover-up because something else was being built there and we came in and wiped it out?
Huh. I don't know. I saw a video of it from, I think David J. Harris posted about it.
Oh yeah.
And I was all Sacramento. Ooh.
Yeah.
Every time Sacramento pops up, I'm like, ooh, I'm famous. It's like, my roots. And then I click on them all. Oh, look how dry it is there, and
I find it funny that, they aren't allowed to have anything that's not safe or sane, but that was housing all the fireworks for, the like El Dorado County's not having a fireworks show at the races anymore.
Oh, really?
Because all their fireworks blew up in that. But the people in charge of the fireworks were the ones who ended up,
Well, you have the same rules as me, basically. We have mortars. We have all types of cool stuff out here that we're allowed to blow
Dude,
up.
they've been going off. Like right now, they're going off outside.
Yeah.
They've been going off for the last week.
You live in the hood, so.
I definitely do not.
But the funny thing is like the
they're
state
probably
with the
shooting them at each other. That's
dude, that those Roman candles are fun. Was it you that sent me the Roman candle baseball, dude? Dude, honestly, sounds like fun.
Yeah,
and I'd probably do it.
Dude, it hit the guy
like,
in the hand. He's like, "Ow! Oh, I gotta get back up." Like,
but the funny thing is like the state with the most stringent laws on fireworks, have
ends
the
up blowing everything up, and
There
it's
was-
not. It was definitely not like civilians. It was the people in charge of the fireworks that did.
Yeah,
it.
well, San Diego had that one too, that really big one. Have you seen that video? That one happened at night. Also, you see all these fireworks, and all of a sudden, it literally looks like and it's like across like water, and it looks like an A bomb went off, and you see people running, and you see some people that are like, "Nope, I'm filming this," and their camera, their phone goes up. But I was like, man,
I remember I flew on the 4th of July.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and we, I think my brother drove me, and as we were driving through Sacramento, oh my God, I've never seen so many fireworks before in my life. And I was like, this is definitely not, this is all like people got these illegally. But then we took off in the airplane. Dude, the sight of the fire, it's like that video overhead where, I forget where it was, like down in LA or something. Where
I've seen that one.
Dude, it was like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, and that's the thing though. It's like you're not going to stop it.
No.
And when I came out here, I'm not gonna lie, it was weird. Even when I first I'm like, I could carry a gun without a license. They're all,
Yeah.
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 Like, and so I felt weird doing it at
America.
first. Yeah, and so now everywhere. I mean,
Dude,
except for places where I
everywhere.
can't, except for like federal buildings and schools, but like
Everywhere.
I
Oh,
carry it.
never
Yeah, yeah,
mind.
right into the Capitol.
Yeah.
But no, like and it's not like a I feel big and bad thing. It's like, man, I just don't trust people.
Yeah.
Recently got a ankle holster, which is, oh my gosh, way better than having it on my hip.
Oh,
Because I conceal. I don't like open carrying, and I just wear it's just over my pants. I don't even feel it. I mean, I feel a little bit of weight down there, but I'm like, man, it's so much better. I hate it. On my, like when we worked at Loomis, I wanted to use that drop leg all the time, but they're all, we can't use those. Well, man, just it digs into my hip, and I'm a chunker, so
yeah.
like pinching it, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're probably not going to be blowing stuff up just because they're expensive. But the baseball stadium here in town, they do a free fireworks show, and it's legit. So we might actually just go to that. Who knows? Or I might try to grill up the tri-tip that I found.
What?
Yeah, dude.
At Sam's Club?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, Sam's Club only has them that they're pre-marinated. I'm like, nope.
No,
Get out of here with that.
They have non-pre-marinated. It just
Not
comes
of
in a
mine.
2-pack and it's like $80.
Yeah, see, I'm not bougie like you. I don't make
Well,
that rhyme in cash.
no, yeah. Uh-huh.
But speaking of alligator Alcatraz, and people who could have been there, dude, you gave me some information the other day, and I didn't
did?
know that it happened. Yeah, that P Diddy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
I think he's going by Diddy right now, actually. So,
Astroglide Diddy. So say he's guilty on 2 of 5 counts, and the 2 counts that he's guilty on, he's probably going to have time served because they're pretty much almost every celebrity has had like a prostitution charge against them. But like, dude, like, okay, from the get-go, this case, and granted, this was a hard case to follow because it was a federal case.
yeah.
You couldn't have cameras in the room, so everything is all drawings and all that. But there was like I think they said evidence of like witness intimidation.
I'm sure there was.
And I'm like, okay, look at who he rolled with, man. Like, Notorious B.I.G. killed and murdered. Then you had Tupac killed and murdered. All these guys, and then you got Suge Knight. And granted, I think Suge Knight was more on I'm not familiar with the whole East Coast, West Coast rap thing, but I know like, they all, whether or not they're all friends, they're at least acquaintances. They know each other and their paths crossed, right? So speaking of like when I say people get paid off, I'm pretty sure something like this happened.
Yeah.
Like with the jury.
It had to have. And then it was funny because they were on the news. They were talking to a lady who's a criminal defense attorney. So she's trying to defend the people against whatever they're accused of, right? But she's saying how this case was from the beginning not ever gonna. They were never going to be able to convict him on any of the big charges, due to the fact that the witness's testimony, which would be his girlfriend and I think a few other women that claimed some things about him, she was like completely discrediting these people because they had gotten paid by him, like hush money basically, and all this stuff. But she was discrediting these people, and I was like, wait a second, what? Now what happened to the Me Too movement? Like,
Yes.
This is the complete opposite. You're like, no, we cannot trust these women. They're just saying this to try and get more money or something like that. I'm like, well,
like,
but
yeah,
this is the same thing. I mean, when it was Harvey Weinstein, oh yeah, go after him. But now it's Diddy, and they're saying no, don't trust these women. Like,
right.
I don't get it.
And the thing is it's you mentioned Harvey Weinstein, and I believe he's out of jail already.
Is he?
I believe he is. Well, Bill Cosby is too. And so we do know that money. I mean, look at OJ. Money does talk when it comes to the criminal stuff. But then I think of things like where like Casey Anthony. I'm like, man, was obviously guilty, but now she can't ever get
Weinstein's in
charged.
jail still.
Is he really? Okay,
He's trying for a retrial.
he should be there forever.
He should.
But as far as I know, like Diddy, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure his career's over because there's a lot of people. There are a lot of people.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that still like him,
but a lot of people don't like him anymore about it too. Is a thing. But then you look
and
at
he's
someone
got a
like,
lot of money.
but look at someone like R. Kelly.
That's true.
I mean, he literally everybody turned their back on him,
Yeah.
and he had money too.
Is he
But
still
then
in
again,
jail?
I believe he is. But you look at him compared to Diddy, and I'm just gonna say it right out there. I mean, we're not pulling the race card here, but they're two black men on trial for doing egregious things, right? Um, and one of them was completely shunned by literally everyone, R. Kelly. The other one was kind of a mixed bag of things. Now, I know that Diddy had like his bad boy records or whatever, his musical empire and whatnot. So I'm just trying to figure out like, was it a money thing? Did he get paid off? Like what happened? Like, I would love to know more. So I'm going to be following like court TV a little bit more and trying to figure out what exactly happened.
Yeah, this is way different. R. Kelly, I don't know if you know this, but like 3 weeks ago, he's still in prison, but he got hospitalized due to an overdose.
Huh.
Yeah.
Kind of sounds like what happened to
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
a little bit when he got sick supposedly for coming out against Diddy, right? Was it Diddy?
That's what that was the rumor. Like
Yeah.
he was coming out against him, and that's what blew this whole thing up, and that's why they arrested Diddy. And yeah, he got poisoned because of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I was honestly shocked by that. So I'm not going to even bother clicking on NPR. But there are a lot of celebrities who've come out and have slammed this trial and everything. But they said something about what was it? RICO is a RICO charge. I was curious about RICO charge. RICO charge under the racketeer influence and corrupt or okay. Allows prosecutors to target individuals involved in organized criminal activity by proving a pattern of racketeering within an enterprise. So I think they're trying to see if he was like running some sort of like a maybe a brothel or something. But I do think
Which
that
probably definitely what. Well, he probably wasn't running it. He probably had people.
probably
and
had
stuff
people,
like that.
but he was probably financing it. But then again, there was something about him with like prostitution across state lines. I'm like, well,
Transportation.
that is a federal crime right there because you went
Yeah.
across, state lines.
That's what he got convicted of. Was a
Right.
transportation for purpose of prostitution or something like that. 2 counts of that.
Yeah. So very strange trial. But what else? This are we good on that?
Yeah, I'm good.
So this next one breaks my heart.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this until you said something.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
I kind of knew about it. Well, okay, hear me out. I didn't know about it. I didn't know this was going on. I found out that like the news about this like a week before everyone. Somebody told me that like, he read somewhere from a lady who was going to expose it. And I'm like, oh, and then it about a week later, it was all over. I didn't know about this when it was happening. But one of like, probably, I guess you would say one of the biggest Christian musical influences, me growing up was
At least the last like 30 years.
Yeah, it was DC Talk.
Yeah.
And Michael Tate, he was in DC Talk. There was 3 of them: Michael Tate, Kevin Max, and Toby. Kevin Max? Is it Kevin Max? Kevin?
I don't know.
Toby Mac, and then Kevin.
Yes.
I know it's Kevin. And then so basically 2 out of the 3 now are basically not doing too good with the Lord. Kevin basically came out pro LGBTQ and just everything, and kind of like did that whole deconstructing thing, but then started like calling out Christians not like we should be able to call it Christians, but basically denouncing God in a way. And then recently Michael Tate came out, and uh, props to him. He didn't beat around the bush and wasn't like, um, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. He just, yeah, I did. He confessed, which is what we're supposed to be doing as Christians. So I'll give him credit there. However, the stuff he's accused of is horrible. So it says right here, and this is from christianpost.com. And I learned a lot about this from John Cooper from Skillet's podcast. If you haven't listened to his podcast, please listen to him. That dude speaks so much truth.
Oh yeah, that's the first article that came up.
Yeah,
his
he's so good. And he called it a shame and a tragedy for the church. And he's not talking about this like, oh, just music. This looks back, because everybody, whenever they see a Christian fall, whenever they see a pastor fall,
I feel like they fall harder
yeah,
than anybody else.
Because we're kind of held to a higher standard. So people,
like, look at Diddy.
Yeah.
And look at, like, Diddy did some terrible, terrible things. And there's still people that like are like trying to defend him.
Right. Well, and Michael Tate, like he wrote some awesome books, like Jesus Freaks, just great books, and
music.
And dude, his music is great. Like his lyrics, just good voice. I got to meet him, a super nice guy. But it says, what's it say right here? It says Tate, the former frontman of DC Talk and Newsboys, because Newsboy, he was basically, what was it, 6 months ago? It was just very quick, just randomly departed Newsboys.
Yeah, I didn't even know that had happened.
And then they got a new guy. I think the guy they got was from Audio Adrenaline, maybe. I can't remember. And then it says he was accused of by multiple men of sexual assault, including incidents where victims were allegedly drugged or intoxicated and touched without consent. He later admitted to living a double life, confessing to unwanted sensual contact and years of cocaine and alcohol abuse. And then, I believe, I'm trying to see if this is John Cooper talking. I think this is okay, yeah, this is John Cooper saying this. What he said was really good on this, because I feel like this was you know how like sometimes like our favorite person will come under fire for something. We just want to defend them, right? That's our natural thing, is just to defend them. But Cooper said, I feel a burden from the Lord. The Lord would not let me rest. I was so conflicted, because he started his podcast. If you just go listen to this episode, I had my wife listen to it. She says it was great. Like the way he came at it was great. And he said he didn't want to do the podcast, but right here it says, I don't want to do this, but the Lord would not leave me alone about it. It's kind of like talking bad about one of your brothers, like one of your, like if you're a cop, like, and you have to testify against them. He said, because I got to be honest, I'm very dissatisfied with the comments that I've seen from CCM, which is like Christian music. It's like, I think CCM is like the Christian music conglomerate. Like they kind of oversee everything, I think. That seems so heavily vested in the idea, which has some truth to it, of, hey, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. Basically, people saying like, well, we've all sinned, and kind of like downplaying it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
oh yes, we have, but this is like he said, he admitted himself, I was living a double life.
Right. And then it says right here, he says that's how they were vested in, was whoever casted the first stone, whatever. Then he says, we all need to have grace. We're all sinners. We need to focus on my own sin. That's kind of what the CCM's view on it was. He goes, but obviously these things are true, but that is not where we need to begin. We need full-throated condemnation of these acts, not a condemnation of people, where we're not condemning people, we're condemning the actions of people, fully throatedly, unapologetically. We do not shrink back. And he says like here, our testimony to the world is at stake. And emphasize that the survivors of Tate's alleged abuse must be prioritized. So basically putting, like saying, not okaying it, not saying like, hey, we're just going to put this on the back burner. Like there's victims here, and my friend was the person who made them victims. We need to prioritize them.
Yeah.
Um, in his podcast, he continued, and he actually went in a little bit more detail of what was done. Um, um, this article pretty much almost talks about a lot of stuff that he talked about verbatim, but I really want you to go out and listen to it. His podcast, it's called Cooper Stuff. You can find it everywhere. He speaks the truth. And you know, he even did stuff like he's one of those guys like, okay, cool. Just because I'm a musician, a Christian musician, you're a Christian musician, I'm not going to sit here and just agree with everything that you agree with. I will call you out if you're falling. And that's essentially what we need in our lives, right? When people are falling or straying away, we need to be able to call them out, because then they're just living in their sin. Like said many times, I had you call me out at that Jeremy Camp concert, you know, and I'm like, man, that was what I needed, because we're not real good friends or Christians if we're just gonna let people just lay in that sin. Um, but I mean, Skillet is one of those bands that they tour more with non-Christian bands or secular bands than they do with Christian bands. So like they'll be playing on the same stage, and like, you know, 4 bands later is Slipknot. But you know, they also do Winter Jam,
Yeah.
and I think it's important that we also, I guess what we're taking away from this is, and I know a lot of people don't do this, but we need to stop putting humans as, I guess, the gold standard of, ooh, I can't like man, I really looked up to that guy. Can't believe he fell. Your pastor at your church, everybody has fallen. We've all done it. And granted, maybe not to this hold on, my cat. Sophie, stop. Maybe not to this level of sexualizing men and everything, but like we need to um understand that we're all sinners, but that's not okay. We need to call that out. But don't put our faith in don't put all your faith in your pastor. Don't put all your faith in your favorite musician, because they're going to let you down. They will let you down. Um, there's only one person you got to put your faith in, and that's Jesus. He's the only perfect person. And um, luckily, you know, I mean, I don't get me wrong, I love the Newsboys and everything, but like I could look at those guys and realize, oh, hey, all these guys are literally just like me. They've all sinned, you know. But like I look at, you know, Jesus, I'm like, man, like I want to be more like that. Um, I do pray that Michael Tate gets what help he needs to get, but I also pray for those victims as well. Like what John Cooper said, prioritize. I hope they get their help first. And then we have the secondary part of it. And I don't like talking ill of the Newsboys. I um, love that band. I'm actually kind of close to one of the members' moms. And but he's not in the band anymore. But I do know, like, as being a former touring musician, I do know that you are in close quarters with your band almost all the time.
Yeah, I feel like that shouldn't have, that isn't something that he could have hid from everyone.
Right. It's like you would have known.
But you never know, because he did say I lived a double life. So maybe he was really good. I mean, he did it for 20 years and never got found out until now.
Right. Well, and that's the other thing. The confession came after he was outed. He would have, you know, kept going unless someone said something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you know, you played show. Well, you were my drum tech, so you would know when, like, if there was something about me that's off, or if I was mad, you're like, hey, you know, Tommy's not acting right.
Yeah.
And but these people are practically living on a tour bus together. It's like, when did that time happen? And
So
it
I mean, some of it's a little bit different now. Like the days of like staying on the tour bus everywhere, you know, are kind of gone. Like especially with them, they're a big band, so they'll probably take the tour bus there so that they could hang out whenever they're at the venue in the bus. But they're probably spending most of their time in their own room at a hotel. You
Okay,
know,
so so you're the perfect person to ask this. So like, if you have so you have a musical artist show up. I'm just using an example of someone who might play there. I don't know if this person's ever played there or ever will, but let's just say Miranda Lambert shows up.
multiple times. Yes.
Okay, well, she's playing our state fair. That's why I just thought of her. So she shows up. So she is the star. But like you see, if you see like Motley Crue, they're all equal stars. Like everyone's like, oh, Tommy Lee, oh my gosh, Nikki Sixx, but no one's going to like a Miranda Lambert show going, oh my gosh, Jimmy
Yeah.
Von Wilson over there on drums. So basically, from what I gathered, from what I remember, is usually the band will travel together. The artist, who's the
Yeah. A
front
lot of times,
person, will
if
travel
it's a big
separate.
person like that with Miranda Lambert, she'd have her own bus, and then the band would have a bus, or like the crew would have their own bus too, something like that.
Yeah, because I know like some bands, like smaller Christian bands, like I'm pretty sure like Disciple. I'm not saying Disciple's a small Christian band. They're definitely not. They're huge, but like they're not like headlining winter jams. They play them, but they're not headlining them. They're probably all on the tour bus together. But like I think Skillet is on the tour bus together. But Newsboys, I mean, they're constantly on tour, constantly on tour. And I wonder, like, man, did they not see anything? And I do
Yeah.
know that I also heard that their label dropped them too.
Yeah, that's why I can see this this article right here. It says they got dropped.
Which, if the guys
There's
did
also another article that says Michael Tate is accused of watching women get raped during a tour that he was on. So that brings up more questions too. Like, how did
Right.
he see that and not the rest of the band? You know?
and that's what you said, it's in a hotel room,
Yeah.
away from the thing. Like that it saddens me. And like you said, it's like we put these people on. They fall harder, I think, than most people, because you expect that to happen to someone like Diddy or someone like that who's runs in that crowd, but not someone who's written Christian books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And also
Who's
on
been
that,
is such an inspiration on the complete opposite end, you know?
right? And the thing is I found this out. There used to be this guy I followed all the time. His name was Rob Bell,
Oh
and he
yeah,
came.
I know Rob
Remember,
Bell.
remember Rob Bell?
Yeah.
He kind of came out. Man, it's been many years ago. He had all these awesome videos. They're called Numa videos.
Yeah.
They're like 15-minute devotionals. They're awesome. He wrote a
Like
really
Christian
good.
TED Talks.
Exactly, and he was really passionate about it. I actually went to one of his talks, got to meet him. It was called Everything is Spiritual. Basically, he connected everything in Genesis to like a poem, like everything that happened on the first day meant for everything on like the fourth, second, fifth. Like I'm like, dude, and then he started. He was like Jordan Peterson. He was like string theory and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, my head is hurting. It was great, but then like he kind of fell away, like years later, and started like basically.
Oh no. Hold on, Tommy. There goes the bootleg internet again. Let's see if we can get him back. This isn't good. It should be my video that dies, not his. Because he's the one that carries the show. Maybe it only crashed for me. There we go.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah.
I've been here the whole time. I
Yeah,
could see you
right.
perfectly fine the whole time.
I think I know how to fix that quicker next time. So there we go.
Yeah.
We're still learning.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch the stream over here to see if it ends up
I'm looking
happening.
at the stream. I'm looking at the stream too, and I don't think it glitched out at all, which
It
is
just
weird.
glitches for me.
Yeah. So, anyways, Rob Bell, he just kind of like came out and like kind
Oh
of
no, you just disappeared.
no, I'm
Yes,
still
you
here.
did. Okay.
He kind of came out like, it was like pro LGBT thing and all that, which is not what Christians, we love the sinner, hate the sin. That's all I'm going to talk about that. But that doesn't discount the stuff he wrote before. So like with Michael Tate, he wrote some good books. Just because he fell victim to sin and all that doesn't mean what he wrote was not truth. How many people in the Bible were horrible people and ended up being good people?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And opposite, who were good people kind of became horrible people, but then became good again.
Yeah.
So I just I think we need to put more faith in Jesus and not in people, but at the same time, call it a sin when it's a sin. If you see your brother slipping,
I think,
call it
I
out.
think it also like really hits home into the fact that you need to just get up from your desk and leave me.
I have my headphones on. I can hear you. I had to hit a button over there.
That you really need to have people in your life that you can talk to, like
Right.
on a different level than like even your spouse.
Right. Like exactly, because I mean, we all know it. Like if like say I had a drinking problem and I wanted to go to Steph, but I'm like, man, she's gonna get she's why I have the drinking problem. you know and or I'm like, she's gonna get mad at me, we're gonna get an argument, then I want to drink, something like that. But you need someone away from the situation who you could talk to. The podcast I listened to, another one called Undaunted Life, he calls it your 3 a.m. friend, foxhole buddy, something like that. Basically, you call that person at 3 a.m. and they go, dude, I'm about ready to drink a beer. I mean, you're out of your bed, you're driving to the bar to pick them up. There's a scene, I can't remember if I mentioned this on here before, but there's a movie called The Town. Great movie. I love that movie. I think it was one of the ones you and I watched in the back of a that sounds really bad. About a Loomis truck. Speaking of Michael Tate. But there's a scene where Jeremy Renner is like in a living room, and then Ben
great
Affleck
guy, friend
Ben
of the
Affleck
show.
Ben Affleck walks in, and he's just like, I need to get ready. Don't ask questions, but we're gonna hurt some people. And then Jeremy Renner just goes, whose car are we taking?
Yeah.
I'm like, not promoting violence, but like that's kind of like the mentality of like dude, that friendship right there that you need. And where you're gonna call them out on it and just be there for them. And I'm pretty sure we'll find out more stuff about this situation. I mean, John Cooper's really good about calling people out. He called out Lecrae because Lecrae basically came out pro-abortion. One of the frontmen from man, what was the name of that band? There was a Christian band where the lead singer became trans and went to like the Dove Awards wearing a dress. Caedmon's Call, I think, is what it was. And he called him out on it. He's like, you can't be doing that. Like that's not right. That's not okay. And I will call it out. And and for if we have some listeners who are okay with it, we have a third person watching now. Hello.
Yeah.
But we have some people who are okay with a lot of stuff, and what, that's fine. But I'm not gonna see eye to eye with everything on everything. So if you're just now joining us on YouTube, this is all new to us.
Say
so we
hi.
haven't done this before. Say hi. There's a chat right there. If you look, I'm not sure if you can see what I typed in there already. But be part of the show. You ask a question, be part of the show. Someone else has posted something. I thought it might have been Wilson.
No, I just pinned what you said up there, so that one will stay.
Check that out.
Yeah.
That's fancy.
I know.
We're trying some stuff out here, seeing if this works. We want some participation. Or if you wanted to add a different thought, even if it was something you disagree with what we're saying or something that we haven't said, put it in there. I mean, even if something we said earlier in the show, because we've been doing this for almost an hour already. So
have we really?
Yeah, it says 55 minutes. That's when we went live.
Wow.
But like if there's something like from a previous conversation you want to start back up, we'll do it. So we're trying to add more flavor to these shows, get us something a little bit different with some live stuff. So, but if we find anything else about this Michael Tate situation, we'll definitely update you guys. It is a sad situation all the way around, and it did break my heart. Like I said, it's like 2/3 of DC talk right now, man.
Yeah.
And Toby Mac, he's pretty much a friend of the show because he lives in Tennessee, and his kids basically play soccer against my nephews, so he's been at a few of the games. So I just hope I hope less of this, because it does, dude. It hurts. It hurts
Yeah.
because it is ammo that people will use against us, and they'll
And
say
be like,
stuff
oh
like,
yeah, well, what about that one guy? It's
yeah,
it's the same as with law enforcement. They're-
right.
They will
And you're gonna have
take
bad
the
people everywhere.
sins of the few to, you know.
And I think what what they said on A Dawn to Life, what Kyle said on that show, um, made a lot of sense. Don't get into an argument, like a biblical argument, with people who don't read the Bible but try to use certain verses against you,
Yeah.
because that's all they know. They're just going to use that one verse, and you're like, dude, no. Like, aren't we supposed to love our brothers? I'm like, well, yeah. I don't hate the guy, but I hate what he did, and I'm going to call him out for it.
Yeah.
You know, like with your kid, if your kid does something bad, you still love them, but you correct them, right?
Yeah.
You don't sit
Exactly.
here, you don't sit there and be like, oh well, because I love you, I'm not going to correct that thing you did wrong. That's what you got to do. Great. Now we have one listener, so I
You.
got someone mad. That's me,
You
because I have it
scared
pulled
him
up.
away.
Yeah, good job, Tommy. So um, I also wanted to talk about, we mentioned many times how we love. I say that we love, but the last time I felt real patriotism in this country was 9/12,
Yeah.
2001. And then I remember the whole slogan, never forget, all this stuff, and people waving flags on the street. Yet New York is running a mayoral event right now, where the guy who won the primary is basically a jihadist. He's calling for all sorts of different things. I'm trying to look at here. New York Post is probably not gonna sit here and tell me anything bad about him, because they're probably all for him. But
Apparently,
he,
Trump said he's going to arrest him.
well, the thing is the funny thing about him winning is he it says he plays first against white people, Hispanic and Asian voters, as well as middle and high income voters. Those are the people that aren't affected by his policies.
Yeah.
But like the low income voters and the black voters, Andrew Cuomo won. But it's like, it's just this guy. He's called for abolishing the police. He's one of those guys.
That's a great
he,
idea.
he said something about the man. I really wish I had this, like, exactly what he said.
What better place to go than NPR to find this out?
Gosh, NPR, though, they're going to lean towards him, though.
He's a South Asian Muslim Democratic Socialist.
Yeah. Right here. National and local Republican. This I'm reading from New York Times. Have responded to the triumph of Mr. Mamdani, who is Muslim, with a wave of explicitly Islamophobic rhetoric. Some have also incorrectly typecast him as a communist. No, that's not. He's actually called for all that stuff. He's literally come out, and but it's just so funny because he's also an anti-Semite. He's all pro-Palestine. Basically, anybody that AOC, the squad, which I hate that term, anybody that they sit here that they sit there and they endorse, I'm like, okay, that's not a good thing. And how quickly we forgot that like his religion is the ones that flew the planes into the towers in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Is there any proof that planes actually flew in there?
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. We'll probably talk about that someday.
Planes flew in there for sure.
Yeah, we'll still talk about it though. There's a lot
Yeah.
of good conspiracies with that one.
But I don't know. And then hearing about, like, you got Tim Waltz, and all these people getting murdered. We just had some poor kid who was like an intern get shot and killed in DC the other day. And like, this guy is not going to be good for New York. You're going to see New York fall even further than it's fallen. And it's pretty bad where, like, Republicans are like, no, we got to rally around and get Cuomo voted in. That's pretty bad. Where they're like, we need to see, there's the you have the far left and you have the far right. Both of them are like crazy. It's like, can we just kind of meet in the middle here?
Yeah, you
Because this
almost
dude,
kind of want to go back to like the times, like Bill Clinton and prior.
yeah, it's like, man, it's just so crazy. Like this guy can win and people vote for him. Did we just get a laughing face? I saw something pop up.
Did we?
I thought something pop up. It wasn't me.
We have another viewer though.
Yeah.
Say hello.
Hello. Type it. Say hi in the chat. We have no idea. Oh, there's a heart. I saw it. That might have been you, Wilson. You're probably playing with it right now.
I am not playing with anything. I'm trying to read this article.
This is all new to us. There's another smiley face. They're messing with us.
Oh, I see it. I see it now.
See it? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. There's engagement. Mark this down.
Yeah.
This is history in the making. But we have no idea who you are. So say hi. But yeah, we're getting all used to this stuff. We're new to it. Wilson actually created this whole thing right here, which is kind of cool. It's fun. There's a slight delay, which is even funnier. Because I'm looking at my face and I'm talking, and then I stop talking. Wilson talks, and I'm like, why is my mouse still moving? Because I have multiple screens. If you look at my glasses, I have like 3 screens right now. I'm like, which one am I looking at? You just waved your hand, and you did it like a minute ago. It's throwing me off.
I did, yeah.
And then what I wanted to talk about too, like I said, these are all kind of sort of connected with this like crime and just garbage. But we all heard about what the Idaho murders that happened last year, and then
last year,
was it last year?
The firefighters.
College.
No, that one. I was like, that was like
that's
a few
another
days
thing to
ago.
talk. That's another thing to talk about. But no, they found that guy, Brian Koberger. He's the one that.
Well, he pled guilty to all of it.
Yeah. So, I'm confused by this. So, does he still have a trial?
Probably not. He probably pled guilty so that he get whatever sentence that they plan that. So they'll have you plead guilty, but he'll know what his sentence is going to be. They'll agree on something beforehand. So,
which I think, from what I heard, like 2 out of the 4 families were okay with that because they didn't want to get dragged through a trial. I get that.
Yeah, I get that kind of. But I think if I was one of those family members, I would say no. I want him to get like the worst punishment possible.
Right, which I'm sure he would. But the thing is, and this, I wanted to look more into this. I'm not gonna lie, I came a little unprepared for this topic right now. So people are saying that he pled guilty, and some people are saying that he didn't do it, but he pled guilty because he knows that there's so much evidence against him that he's going to be found guilty. He might as well just plead guilty. That way he has life and not the death penalty to avoid that. So I'm like,
because
okay,
if you get life, you always still have the chance of getting out.
Parole. Yeah. But here's the thing. So there's a thing called an Alford plea, which I don't know if you could do that during trial or after. But I know that the West Memphis 3 did it after their trial, which is basically saying you're going to accept a guilty verdict because the the evidence against you is so overwhelming, but you're still maintaining your innocence. So you're saying you're guilty, but you're innocent. They did that, and they're out of jail right now.
Huh.
But I'm wondering why he didn't do that option.
I have no idea.
Oh, it's my mom. She's in the chat.
Oh, hello.
She said she's the 3rd person sending the hearts. I can't figure out the chat. Mom, if you're listening, you got to be on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, I can't help you because I'm looking at a completely different screen. right next to where you click those hearts, there should be a little space there you could just tap and a little keyboard will come up.
This all did happen in Ada County, though, which I believe is where friend of the show, Derek, works.
Oh, and he probably can't talk about it.
I know. Could have it.
Yeah, this story right here, my daughter, she's really vested in this one. It bothered her a lot, and so she's been following it. It's just I feel bad for everybody. And the thing is like the way they caught him was weird. Did you hear about that?
No.
So it was actually pretty good police work in my mind. I'm sure actual people who are cops would be like, it was horrible. But they, I think, found there was like no real evidence there. The only evidence there was like there was someone there who saw him walk out, and they said he had bushy eyebrows. That's what they said. And
got him with the bushy eyebrows.
yeah, dang it. That's why I trim, I use my Philips Norelco. That's how I get this boyish good look. Actually, my beard,
When's
that's
the
just one
last time
giant.
you did that?
What, the eyelash?
No, the beard.
Oh, I haven't like trimmed it. Just a little off the side, maybe a week ago. I haven't touched it since November, dude. Yeah, look at this. It's glorious. It's glorious. I feel like I'm Gandalf.
Patriotic Patricia said that you're filling your West Virginia role now.
Oh wow. Thanks, Patty. Thank you. I'm still not saying the lingo out here, which I get crap for all the time still. But apparently, like, he was driving in a Hyundai Elantra, like a white one. So they started pulling like ring cam photos, and dude, or video. What's crazy is like all they gotta do is say, okay, so he went down this street, so let's find a ring camera down there, and they find a camera down there, and they trace him. Also, he's going up past a gas station, but he got pulled over somewhere with his dad in the car. And like there's police video of it, and I guess he was tailgating somebody, and I can't remember exactly how they knew it was him, but they're saying, where are you coming from? And like everything matched, the bushy eyebrows, Hyundai Elantra. So I think they started asking him more questions, and it turns out this is the dude, but he's like a what do you call it? Like, not a forensic. He's like a wasn't he like a professor? He taught like something with law enforcement, or like a criminology or something like that. So he knew all these things. He knew about like what do you call it? Ted Bundy and all that. He was like studying. That's what he taught. But they found like the knife sheath that he had, and it matched perfectly for on the size of the knife that would have been for the wounds, but they haven't found the knife. And those are things like like I said, like I didn't know if they were going to be in trial, right? So, because if you pled guilty, is there even a trial? But I think there still should be a trial, because there's a lot of unanswered questions. Why'd you do it? Sometimes we don't know why they did it. They're crazy. But where's the knife? Why'd you pick them? How long were you stalking them for? You could have chosen all these other people. Why'd you choose this? I think to better help us understand the criminal mind a little bit, which is kind of what that show Mindhunter is about on Netflix, where they go and it's dramatized, but it's like, they interviewed Charles Manson, get in the head of like a serial killer, what makes them tick, because the story all along was nature nurture, right? Are you born this way, or are you created in an environment? You hear so many people that get arrested, oh, absent father or abusive home, but I know plenty of people who have absent fathers and came from an abusive home that are awesome, who have never killed anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I it's all, I think, in the mind a little bit. Some people, I think, just twist off.
Yeah. So one of the fathers for sure was not okay with this agreement. He pled guilty, so he's serving 4 life sentences. So he would have to get like a parole hearing on 4 life. That would probably never happen. But the dad came back and said, no, it's justice was not served. This is just daycare.
Yeah. I mean, he's probably gonna get P Diddy'd in prison. But then again, someone like him, knowing what prison's like, he's probably not gonna be with anybody else. He's probably with they call it in prison. I forget what they call it there, but like in jail, it's ADSEG. You're basically by yourself. You see other people, but you have no way of like being in the presence of them, like one on one.
The other people that you see are probably going to be other people like you that cannot be out with other people.
Yeah. Um, it's just like we had one guy in our jail. He was ADSEG'd in the infirmary. So he was like he had his own little nice little cush spot up front because he was all old. Just the biggest pile of garbage you'll ever meet in your life. And he killed someone like in 1980, I think. You remember that one? Neeson's son?
Oh, he was gone by the time I got there.
Yeah. And his trial was going on for so long. You had witnesses and people who were going to testify against him dying. And I had to like handcuff that dude and court chain him to go to court. And he's just like, the handcuffs are too tight. I'm like, they're not built for comfort, Bubba.
Yeah.
But now he's in San Quentin, which who knows? That might shut down here pretty soon if Newsom has his
It
way.
probably will. He's shut down at least 4 now. But who did I say was running for governor? Chad Bianca?
The Riverside County Sheriff?
Yeah.
And
He-
Ryan Tillman.
Yeah.
Dude, how awesome would that be? Him, the pair of them.
Yeah. But he did a video on Instagram talking. He's standing in front of Susanville because Susanville's closed down.
I saw that.
And he said, I promise that I will reopen all these and I will build more prisons so that we can actually, make people serve the consequences of their actions.
Well, there's you have that, right? So there's a place to serve them. Now, this will probably never happen, but back in the day, way back in the day, before we were even born and everybody we know was born, they had that little thing called public hangings. Okay. Where you would literally witness the end of this person's life as a deterrent
Yeah.
to not commit certain crimes, right? So my thing is, I'm like, okay, modern day, we're not going to go out in the middle of Main Street, wherever, and off some person. But man, we sure do have like live streams. We're doing it right now.
Yeah.
Pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Yeah, some
Pretty
people
much
probably get
every movie that takes place in the future like glorifies that type of thing. Like Gamer.
yeah.
What's the
Princess Bride.
the
All those.
Death Race.
Yeah. Running Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Put the criminals up and watch them die.
It's essentially Hunger Games, but they're not criminals.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it's like, man. But
if
it's like,
you were
man,
to actually suggest that, people would be like, you're sick or something like that. And you'd be like, well, then are these people who made these movies sick?
but yeah, see, it's a deterrent though. Is the thing. I'm like, man, okay, that'll work for someone like me and you. I'm like, man, I'll never steal because or let's just say the punishment for stealing is death. Which
Or
it's
getting
not.
your hand chopped off, like it does
Right,
in
which
other
it was in
places.
biblical times.
Yeah.
You're like, man, we could use that as an example. Like this, the punishment. And so I'm like, man, I really don't want to steal because that just looked painful. I don't want to do it, whatever. But there's people out there that are like, I really don't care. Like they're, like I said, nature versus nurture. Like they're rewired in a certain way where it's like, man, they can't help themselves.
Yeah.
That's like rapists. They literally cannot help themselves to do it. The Golden State Killer, he like couldn't help himself. Then all of a sudden he kind of, I don't know, got old and maybe his thingy wasn't working anymore. And so he's like, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. And that's what caused it. But like, it's like the criminal mind is it's interesting. That's why I listen to a lot of true crime, because like, man, that's a part that I can't understand.
Did you ever watch that show on Peacock? It has the black guy, and his face is like burned from something that happened prior in his life, but he's a like psychology type person, professor, but he's contracted to find like people who do crimes and stuff like that.
Is this like a documentary or is it a
No,
real show?
it's like like a TV show.
Oh, I have.
forget what
I
it's
watch.
called.
I watch Poker Face on Peacock, which is really good.
Really?
Yeah, it's actually really good. But yeah, so we had 0 people talk to us. My mom wanted to, and I know if she could figure this out, she'd be chatting it
The
up.
Irrational.
The Irrational.
Yeah, that's what it's called. You should watch that.
Man, I have so many things I'm watching. I'm watching 1923 right now.
Dude, that's old.
There's old people in it.
Yeah, but that came out a long time ago.
Well, I know, but
You're behind the times.
I finally got my. I waited for everything to come out. Then I got my free trial to Paramount Plus because I'm cheap.
Oh,
And once that's done, then I got my entire Yellowstone. I got everything. I'm all caught up, and I'm just waiting for Landman season 2 to come out.
I got a subscription to Apple TV so I could watch Stick.
Stick?
Yeah, it's got Owen Wilson in it. It's about a
the
washed up golfer. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen preview for that one. I love Apple. So, what was that movie called? Severance? Yeah. Kind of a letdown. Yeah, it's like one of their biggest shows on Apple TV. It's kind of a letdown at the season, man. You're sitting there, you're like, that was the end of everything. Like not just the season.
Oh, it's
that's
the
the
funny
end
guy from Step Brothers, right?
You're trying, what?
It's got the funny guy from Step Brothers in it, right?
I don't know. if
Adam
he's a Step
Scott?
Brother. Yeah, Adam Scott. Well, I know him from Parks
Isn't
and
he-
Rec.
Isn't he the like brother that they get like they're driving to the house and the whole family's singing the song?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, hopefully, we get some. We'll try this a few more times and see people like it. I did hop on Facebook to see if it was there, and it
You got
wasn't.
a limited amount of time right now, sir.
What do you mean I have a limited amount of time?
Huh?
Oh, because the music's going.
Uh-huh.
So, anyways, later on the Minjay, Jobin.
Yeah, I'll talk to you then, or I'll talk to you another time.
All right, bye.
Bye.